boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. It's Just with Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And it is a very, very happy day for Netflix and, of course, none other than Adam Sandler, because Happy Gilmore 2 has crushed it in the ratings, ladies and gentlemen, breaking a 5-year record. And it is setting a single week record out there for the most views of an original movie out there on streaming. And it is absolutely insane. Not only did it set a record, but it completely and totally dominated the charts overall for the week that it released. And boys and girls, it wasn't even out for a whole week. It did this in 3 days time. And I mean, it crushed Disney, it crushed Paramount, it crushed every other studio out there that had anything on streaming. It even beat Disney's #1 overall all-time streaming champion. And boys and girls, I think that makes anybody involved in Happy Gilmore very, very happy, because that is a record and a feather in your cap that no one else can say they have. And it'll probably be a very long time, especially considering the drought and the intellectual absolute brain drain that has happened out of Hollywood over the last few years, for a very long time. Because as you can see over here from the headline of the HollywoodReporter.com, streaming ratings, Happy Gilmore 2 set single week record for a movie on Nielsen charts. That is absolutely insane. And boys and girls, it was not even close. When we actually get into the charts and show you the numbers, this thing beat everything else by a mile. And that was in 3 days. Boys and girls, that is absolutely insane. And it just shows you that the audiences are absolutely craving something that not only feels comfortable and relatable, but that it comes from someone that they feel they can trust, that's not going to screw them over and at least give them some good laughs. And that, of course, is Adam Sandler. So we're going to check out this article from Hollywood Reporter, getting all of the juicy details and exactly how well this thing did in comparison to absolutely everything else on the charts. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. I think we just crossed like 2,100. We're sitting at like 2,164. So please smash that subscribe button and get us even farther closer to 22. Also, let us know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy Happy Gilmore 2? Were you one of the first ones to watch it in the early days? Is it exactly what you wanted and you expected from a sequel from Adam Sandler? Did you think it was good? Did you not like it? Are you glad to see that it's dominating so well and being such a massive success out there for Adam Sandler and Netflix and dominating everybody else out there in Hollywood? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please hit the links in the description as well. All right, from the Hollywood Reporter and our dear sweet Rick Porter, who works for the Hollywood Reporter. The Adam Sandler comedy racked up almost 2.9 billion minutes of viewing over its opening weekend. Almost 2.9 billion minutes in 3 days. That's insane. And you know what the other funny part about this is? This shows you Netflix's confidence in the products they produce, right? In the stories that they produce, because they didn't drop this on a Monday or a Tuesday like we see Disney do all the time, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars or whatever it is out there, right? To kind of game the system, get an extra few days in there to see how things go. No. Netflix is like, we own the system. We don't need to game anything. We're going to drop it on Friday. Like, back in the day when you used to drop all of your hot television shows, or on Sunday nights or something like that, because you know what? We're not worried about it. And we know that everybody likes to binge their television on Netflix on the weekends on their days off. So we don't need your cheap tricks. We don't need to drop 2 and 3 episodes all at once to try to actually end up charting on the Nielsen ratings. No, we'll drop a movie on Friday and we're going to dominate all of the rest of you, and it's not even close. And that, boys and girls, right there is some big old balls. And that Netflix has, and with good reason. Best in, first in, best dressed, maybe, but no one's even become close. And this is with legends you talk about libraries, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, and yet no one can even come close to dominating the charts the way Netflix does. Outside of Taylor Sheridan's universe, nobody even comes close to charting the way Netflix does. The return of Happy Gilmore to the links brought a whole lot of eyeballs to Netflix. Happy Gilmore 2, the 29 years later sequel to Adam Sandler's golf comedy, set a record on Nielsen streaming charts for its premiere weekend. The film amassed 2.89 billion minutes of viewing time in the United States from July 25th to 27th, the highest single week total for a movie in the 5-year history of the ratings provided streaming charts. That's where I got the 5-year thing. So since they've only been reporting ratings for 5 years, that's why it's the record. It's setting the record overall, but that's where the 5-year thing came from that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Happy Gilmore, my mind just got ahead of itself. Happy Gilmore 2's total 2.893 billion, to be precise, narrowly beat the 2.889 billion minutes for Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery in the final week of 2022. And although I never got into the Glass Onion, I guess little universe franchise, whatever you want to call it was, I heard a lot of really good things. And I know a lot of people were super excited when Knives Out Mystery came out. So it's one of them situations where, yeah, and Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore absolutely crushed that. It's worth noting that Glass Onion's previous record came over a full week. Adam Sandler did this in 3 days. Happy Gilmore 2 only needed 3 days to top that. The 2.9 billion minutes of watch time is equivalent to about 24.58 million complete showings of the 114-minute movie, the accepted industry standard for streaming view, which is the way they've had to do it now because trust me, every single one of these streaming services knows exactly how many individual accounts watched their shows, right? And then they know exactly how long each and every single one of you watched that show or movie, okay? They could release data like that. Obviously, they wouldn't have to individualize it, but they could tell you, what was the average completion rate? They could tell you how many people actually watched, and then they could tell you what the total numbers were. But that would be giving us too much information. And if that was the industry standard, well, think how many more videos I could make of making fun of Marvel and Star Wars and Disney overall. So yeah, they won't let us that far into the cooking. So this has become the new industry standard. And so that's what we use, because why? In order to give a fair assessment, we have to compare like to like. That's why we compare Nielsen ratings to Nielsen ratings. That's why we compare Samba numbers to Samba numbers. If the industry is going to say this standard, that's their standard, well, then that's fine. We will hold them to that standard. And when they fall short of that standard, we will laugh, make fun of them, and ridicule them, especially if it's properly deserved. And in most cases with Hollywood, it absolutely is. And in this case, the praise and the rewards that Happy Gilmore 2 have received are also obviously extremely warranted out there as well. That would mean the Nielsen measured viewing on TV screens in the U.S. made up about 52% of the worldwide total. That is nuts. 46.7 million views worldwide for its first weekend, according to Netflix's data. Sandler and Netflix have a long-standing relationship that has produced 10 movies over the past decade. Sandler's got him a real nice, comfy kind of position over there. He will never have to work for another studio ever, and it sounds like he's probably not going to want to. I mean, truth be told, the guy probably would never have to work again either, but he's just like anybody else that likes to create, that likes to do things. There's a drive, there's a motivation inside of you that you want to keep making those kind of things, even if you don't need the money. That's just how creatives are. It's how good creatives are anyway. Nielsen says movies starring Sandler, including theatrical releases that later streamed on Netflix, have racked up 61 billion viewing minutes on the platform since 2018, with Murder Mystery, 9.9 billion minutes, currently leading the list. Happy Gilmore 2 wasn't the only movie with big numbers for the week of July 21st through 27th. K-pop Demon Hunters hit another high in its 6th week on the Nielsen charts, crossing the billion-minute mark for the first time. I could have done a whole nother video over K-pop Demon Hunters crushing Disney over and over. We could have done one of those every single week. I haven't watched it. I hear really good things about it. My wife and I like anime. Maybe we should give it a shot. I love anything with like mysticism and mystical and demons and angels and all that kind of stuff. So Demon Hunters, you've got me intrigued. K-pop, I don't know. Let me know about that in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys think Mrs. Common Nerd and I should watch that. Maybe we should even review it for you. On the series side, Netflix's drama Untamed held up very well in its second week with 2 million movements, just down 3.5%. A week earlier, The Hunting Wives did well as well. Comedy Central's South Park is doing really well. Of course they are as well with all of that kind of stuff. Nielsen streaming ratings cover viewing on TV sets only and don't include minutes watched on computers or mobile devices. The ratings only measure U.S. audiences and not those in other countries. The top streaming sites for July 21st to 27th, 2025 are below. That's where things get interesting because Untamed, although it does have 6 episodes already going right now, was still beaten. Happy Gilmore still beat it by over 800 million minutes watched. So almost 1 billion minutes watched over that one. Hunting Wives, not even close, right? K-pop Demon Hunters, obviously in its 6th week in the charts now, doesn't really count. This is the one that I wanted to get to right here. Bluey. Boys and girls, Bluey is consistently the only thing that charts for Disney week over week. And as a friendly reminder out there, as Spartacus and I reminded us in the chat earlier while we were talking about this before we cut the video, this is not something that Disney produced. Bluey is produced by an Australian company and is licensed to Disney to stream it in the United States and distribute it in the United States, right? So it's not even their own thing. And Happy Gilmore absolutely crushed that by 2 billion minutes, right? By a long shot. So this is what I'm saying. Netflix holds the top 4 on this one. Disney, HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu Netflix, Grey's Anatomy, and Netflix again. Netflix is the undeniable number 1 dominator in the streaming charts, and it's not even close. A tech company beats the likes of Disney and Warner Brothers, HBO, Star Wars, Marvel, consistently. And Happy Gilmore 2 is just the latest evidence of that, boys and girls. Fans don't need complicated, crazy, convoluted stories to be happy, right? It's really not rocket science to make the majority of general audiences and fans happy. Will you always have your elites, even in fandom? Absolutely. That want things a certain way and have everything be a certain way? Of course. You're always going to have that. And they're fans. That's their right to want that and to expect that. And I have no problem with that kind of thing happening. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a general audience here, right? The ones who are the ones that really make your things turn into successful franchises. And at the end of the day, most of general audiences just want a good, feel-good story that'll make you laugh a little bit when it comes to a comedy and doesn't talk down to you and it doesn't be stupid, right? And Adam Sandler knows how to do that. Are some of his movies a little more missed than hits? Absolutely. Is everything a golden gem and the gold standard for comedy? No. But does he have more good, solid, laughable, rewatchable comedies than he does not? Absolutely. And Netflix understands that. Netflix is one of those situations where they are more of a distribution house than they are a creative studio. Netflix hires people, gives them money, and if for some reason Netflix doesn't feel like they're getting a return on investment, cancels them. Other than that, they really don't seem to have that much influence over a lot of the things that they create. And in a star's case like Adam Sandler, they just let him have carte blanche. And clearly it's working for them. And what's so funny is that is such a direct opposite approach to what we see from a lot of these studios out there. Marvel is just the prime example because it's one of the ones that I know the best and we have the most leaks and the information on. Right? We know that Kevin Feige literally has his finger in absolutely everything, and he's a micromanager to the absolute nines. He's flat out said he watches every project 5 or 6 times before he's even close to happy with it, before it actually gets released and before everybody else sees it. Right? So we know he doesn't trust the people he hires, right? But Netflix clearly does. So what process works better? Do you hire good people and let them do their thing and then judge them based on what they produce? Or do you micromanage everybody and try to turn everything into the exact same carbon copy of what you've done before and have it continue to fail? Or do you let your creatives do what they do best and create? Well, clearly one path works and clearly one doesn't. This is why Netflix is dominating Disney. This is why Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2 Despite the originals that Disney has come up with, despite the originals that Marvel has come up with, despite the originals that Star Wars has come up with, Happy Gilmore 2, a sequel over 2 decades in the making, is now the #1 all-time movie record holder for streaming. And it did it in 3 days. Boys and girls, if that's not an embarrassment for all of Hollywood and especially Disney, I don't know what is. So at the end of the day, congratulations to Netflix and most of all, Adam Sandler, because you've actually made the fans happy and you've gotten great success. Because at the end of the day, like we've said it before a million times, fans decide. And fans have now decided that Happy Gilmore 2 is the most successful movie in the history of streaming. And I, for one, boys and girls, am very happy to hear that. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.